Welcome to the Animals Naturally podcast with me, Suzanne. I'm founder of Taranet, a leading international natural animal healthcare website at taranet.co.uk. In this podcast, I aim to help you to get some tips and advice on how to care for your animal naturally, whether that's your horse, dog, cat, or other animal. Hopefully you'll find some information that will help you to help your animal have a more naturally healthy lifestyle. In this episode, I'm going to focus on cats and cats' urinary health. So, the kidneys and bladder are obviously essential for anybody, and that includes our cats. So having good health is vital. Quite often, cats will get urinary problems, and a veterinary surgeon will need to be involved, and they will often suggest a variety of medication, which can be for a temporary basis or a more ongoing situation. But there are natural ways you can help. But first of all, let's look at what issues are commonly associated with a feline urinary tract. There's something called feline lower urinary tract disease, and this is very common. And there can be many reasons for this. There could be a urinary infection, it could be urinary stones, it could be something wrong with the thyroid, it could be diabetes, or there could be an injury. There could be many reasons why urinary problems emerge. You may see symptoms such as very thirsty, or not drinking, or struggling to go to the toilet. It could be obvious pain when they're going to the toilet, your cats could have. Of course, if your cat does appear to be unwell, you must get a veterinary surgeon to have a look and find out what the problem is. It's essential, though, that no problem is left untreated, because obviously with any ailment, the longer it goes on, the harder it is to get on top of it, and obviously it causes a great deal of pain and discomfort in the meantime. So the quicker you realise that something's wrong and can get to the vet, the better. So how can you help naturally? There are various herbal remedies that can be used to help. Now, your veterinary surgeon may suggest using herbs, but you can also find many veterinary surgeons around the world who are trained in herbal medicine, and they could be also useful to contact, specifically if your cat has a health problem, whether it's a urinary problem or another one. So, what herbs are there that you could use to help your cat with his urinary health? Well, the first one is cranberries. Now, cranberries are not just something that is a good fruit to have with your turkey dinner, but they are actually useful for many animals, and that includes our cats. Cranberries have been used or researched in their use of helping urinary problems on dogs and cats too. And cranberries are so they're a red fruit, and they are very nutritious, lots of vitamins and minerals in. And they are thought to help with urinary problems, and they have been proven to be useful. So there's certainly something you should consider. There are various herbal supplements you can find that contain cranberries that are specially developed for pets. My favourite supplement is something called aloe berry nectar. As I'm a distributor or business owner of Forever Living products who produce a large range of aloe vera products and supplements, and that includes one with cranberries, so it's called aloe berry nectar. If you'd like more information on this, then do let me know in the email which I'll put in the comments. The second herb that is useful is dandelion. Now, dandelions are sometimes thought as weeds. They're also a yellow plant that we find in many fields and gardens sometimes. But they're actually very, very nutritious, and they've got lots of medicinal properties. They contain very many vitamins, including A and C. They contain minerals such as iron and calcium. And dandelions are used as diuretics or have a diuretic effect. Now, what does that mean? Well, that means that diuretics can be used, do promote urine elimination, and passing urine is essential to health, and that includes for our cats. You can find the dandelion tinctures and dandelion herb to use for your cat, for your animal, and you can find that from some natural animal healthcare resources or companies such as Hilton Herbs, and there are many others around the world too. So the third herb that you could be using to help with your cat's urinary health is marshmallow. Now, marshmallow, people might often think of that as something you eat as a human, and it's quite soft and squidgy, but actually marshmallow is a plant, And this plant, it has also very many medicinal properties. It has a soothing effect, and it contains something called mucilage. Now this effectively coats the urinary tract to protect it. So marshmallow is something that is very useful in many situations. So marshmallow has other benefits too, so it can help with many gastrointestinal ailments such like diarrhea as well. Now marshmallow is either the root or the leaves that can be found in tinctures, powders or combined in supplements too. You'll find that also in many leading natural animal healthcare companies such as Hilton Herbs. As I say, I do like Hilton Herbs, I use them quite a lot myself. And there are, say, other companies too around the world that you can use that will provide these herbs. Yeah, so those 3 herbs I recommend for urinary tract to consider for your cat are cranberries, dandelion, and marshmallow, all completely natural. So there are other herbs you can consider using that are Chinese herbs. Now, traditional Chinese veterinary medicine is a very specialist area, and it's essential that you only use herbs that are part of the Chinese veterinary medicine sector that have been prescribed by a trained veterinary surgeon who is well aware of all the different side effects they have and how they can be used effectively. It's not something you should use unless you really know what you're doing. So there are, again, many holistic veterinary surgeons around the world who are trained in traditional Chinese veterinary medicine who can help you. So from all these herbal options, what can you do? How could you choose the best one? Well, it does depend on what the problem is, of course, so speaking to your veterinary surgeon is vital. It's also worth pointing out that some veterinary surgeons, whether conventional ones who aren't actually trained in herbal medicine, will still recommend that the herbs used in their animals' healthcare. So, for instance, many veterinary surgeons, many large veterinary practices do actually have their own range of supplements that they develop themselves. And often they will use herbs. So, for instance, I've had that experience with my own donkeys who had a liver condition or a kidney condition, and actually my veterinary surgeon had a range of supplements, and they actually included herbs, and they were very powerful herbs and very powerful supplements. So, and my vet wasn't a herbal veterinary surgeon by any means, but they do recognise the benefits. So don't think that veterinary surgeons, unless they're a herbal or trained holistic surgeon, will not use herbs, because they will if they find that it's useful and having the evidence base. Which is, say, dandelion, cranberries, and marshmallow have been proven to be useful. So they are something you should definitely discuss with your vets, and they might well have an option for you. But as I said, you can find companies such as Hilton Herbs, and they actually have advisors you can speak to as well on the phone or on the internet who can help advise you. So I would say as well, choose a supplement if you can that is specially formulated for animals or is completely pure and natural. It's important that you only use the right amount. Hilton Herbs have a product called Kitty Easy P, which is designed for optimum feline urinary function. So choosing a supplement that's specially designed will enable you to use the correct amount. As I said though, some leading animal healthcare supplement producers such as Hilton Herbs do have advisors who can help let you know what you should be using. So what else can you do to help with your cat? Well, you can start with the diet. You are what you eat, and that applies to our animals and our cats too. Whatever the cause of your cat's urinary issue, a diet that is balanced and which is high quality, preferably organic and as natural as possible, with no unnecessary additives or preservatives, will help your cat to be as healthy as possible. You may have heard of raw feeding. Now, raw feeding is often thought of being to do with dogs particularly, but actually cats also can benefit from a raw food diet. You can find prepared raw food from experienced producers such as Nature's Menu, and I'll put the link to that in the notes, who produce raw food that's specially designed for cats. Now, it may seem a bit basic starting with the diet, but as I said, you are what you eat, and that definitely applies to our cats too. You may think it's a more expensive diet sometimes, but actually it's not necessarily the case, because the food will give the animal much more better health, and they will often eat it, because sometimes cats do waste their food because they don't like it very much or more picky. And also they're not necessarily getting the right balance of things, And at the end of the day, it's investing to save. Better to have your cat on a good healthy diet, so a raw food diet, especially designed, than actually then have veterinary bills either now or in the future, because veterinary bills are not cheap. So obviously won't necessarily stop all veterinary problems. I don't say that at all, but the probability of more serious health issues will be likely to be averted if your cat is having a good diet. It's certainly a good base. Now you can find out more about raw food, because I'm certainly not an expert in raw food. There are veterinary surgeons who are members of something called the Raw Feed Veterinary Society, and I'll put the links to that in the notes too. So also ensure your cat has clean, fresh water at all times. Now, that sounds very basic, but I think it's important to remember that drinking is essential for good health. And it can be easy for our animals, our cats, to not drink as much as they should do. For a variety of reasons. The water might be a bit old, it might be a bit stale. So if they don't seem to be wanting to drink very much, do try and encourage them. But also try just changing the colour of the bowl, using a different water bowl, or even changing the material of the water bowl, because they can make a big difference too. So I hope that's been useful as an overview of how you can help your cat's urinary health with holistic approach, and the herbs of cranberry, marshmallow and dandelion, how they can help, and some other tips on diet too. Remember, as with all therapies and treatments, use only those that your veterinary surgeon approves. Whilst herbal medicine is generally very safe, there may be some reasons why it won't be suitable for your cat. It may not even work properly if your cat is on other medication. So do get your veterinary surgeon's permission first. So I hope that's been helpful. If you want any help finding a veterinary surgeon for your animal, then do please email me at info@taranet.co.uk. Visit the website at taranet.co.uk for lots more information on holistic therapies for your cat or other animal. And thank you very much for listening. Until next time, goodbye.